speed build. Today I'm building, well, it started off as a craftsman, but it didn't end up being that. But I'm building this cute suburban home in Brindleton Bay, which is actually still one of my favorite neighborhoods to build in, I think. I think either Brindleton Bay or Windenburg for sure. But I'm building in the little hind corner hideaway lot, I think, of Brindleton Bay. I believe this lot is a 40 by 30, but don't quote me on that. But I really like this one because it's surrounded by all these trees. I actually had a cottage here that I had to bulldoze. To put this lot here, I don't think it'll stay here. I just think I like the lot size. I'm not sure it really blends into the surroundings, but I believe this house ends up being 3 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. Oh, there's 3 bedrooms and an office, but the office actually has a Murphy bed in it, so it also functions as a guest bedroom. So I think that kicks it up to 4 bedrooms if you include Murphy bed as a bedroom. But I don't know, I always put Murphy beds in my builds, but I don't think I ever use them because, well, you can't exactly have you can have guests, like you can do the invite to stay the night thing, but you can't, it's not like you can have like a family member come and stay for like a few days or even weeks without actually adding them to your household. So I always build guest rooms. I don't think I ever really use them though. It's kind of like building garages. You build them, but they don't have a ton of functionality. They're just sort of, for the look of the house. But I actually had a little bit of trouble doing this roofing. The first time I did it, it was just awful. I actually had to go off camera and try to do the roofing. This chimney is actually going to get deleted. I end up not keeping this this style of chimney. I think I was supposed to put it on the sloping roof on like both sides, but I only put it on one, and so it looks strange. I think I do end up getting rid of that. I did have some trouble doing this roof because I haven't actually built in a really, really long time. So this is the first build that I'm doing in at least a few months. So what I did was actually went off camera, built the shell of the house, like no paint or windows or anything, literally just the shell to practice the roof. And then I came back on camera and did it again. And it ended up okay. The original house I was doing was meant to be a craftsman, but as you can see, it did not end up being a craftsman. I couldn't get the roofing quite right. I always struggle with the roofing on craftsmans, I feel. In the stems, I just feel like the proportions it's probably my fault, but the proportions are a little bit difficult for me because I knew that I wanted this house to be 2 stories, but I think it's hard to, first of all, it's hard to make a 2-story craftsman in general, but then it's really hard to get that kind of like sloping roof. And it wasn't a true craftsman anyway. When I say craftsman, I just really mean that, like, especially that particular front part of the roof has that like double stacked kind of look. But now that I think about it, it probably wasn't a true craftsman. If I knew how, I would just put a picture of it on the screen, but I don't know how. So anyway, with the wallpaper, the siding, I guess, of the house, I actually started off with the kind that has the little columns on the end built in, but I ended up taking those out because it doesn't line up. Like, I wish there was a way that you could sort of select like different swatches of it maybe, so that you could put the corners on the corners and the sides on the sides, but I think it just guesses. I'm not sure what the process is there, but I think it guesses which is supposed to be the corner or where the corner should be, and it doesn't exactly line up. So I ended up just taking it out and putting in columns myself, which I think is a better look anyway. This next part that I'm doing in a second, I think. Oh, by the way, I cannot stop using this ever since Seasons came out. I don't think there's been a single build where I have not managed to shoehorn in that the little fence and railing that we got from Seasons. Just every swatch of it is gorgeous. It works on so many houses. I would say probably at least for build buy, but also for gameplay, I would say probably Seasons is my #1 pack. Like, I don't know how we could play this game without it. I love the build buy so much, and I love the actual, changing of the seasons. I'm actually really excited for Cottage Living, which comes out today. I was actually hoping to play it when it came out. I'm on Eastern time, so it came out for me at 1 p.m. But now it's 4, and I've been editing this video all day. But the second I finish this speed build, And well, I already finished the build, but the second I finish, recording and editing this, I am going to sprint to my game so that I can finally play it. Although I still have to build a house and a sim for it, so I realistically won't be able to play until the weekend, which is actually kind of a bummer, but it's fine. I can wait another day. I waited, oh my gosh, how long did it take them? They released the trailer so early, and so I've just been waiting. Basically, it feels like all summer to actually play with it. This part with the rocks, I cut it out because it took me a really long time, but I'm actually pretty proud of it. I raised the terrain here, which I actually think looks really cute, but then because the rocks are debug items, they don't actually snap to the what's it called? They don't actually snap to the raised terrain. You have to manually lower it in the 9 key for whatever reason, which is not working. I don't know if you can't go any lower than the actual terrain or what the problem was, but I used the tool mod to lower them, and using the elevation tool is like not super impressive, but for someone who is tool challenged like me, I was actually very, very, very pleased with myself. I also used it around the build to lower some mirrors, and then you can just take the wall out. But for me, it's just so much easier to just kind of just pop the tool mod. Now that you can use a tool mod in buy mode or build mode, I didn't actually use it when it was only in live mode. A lot of people say live mode. I don't know, and I have never known what it is. I've heard both ways so many times, so I just stick with live mode. But you can usually only use the tool mod, or you could before the update, only use it in live mode, and so I almost never used it. Now that you can use it in build mode, I don't know, and now that it's actually wrapped up with Better Build Buy, if you don't know what I'm referring to, the tool mod is made by Twisted Mexi, as is the Better Build Buy. I don't know how I ever played this game without Better Build Buy, like organizing the actual debug menu and letting you have like a collapsible catalog, and now you can edit the lights, like dim or change the color or whatever, in build mode, which is I forgot to use it until it's like it's about the second floor of this build. And then off camera, I went through and changed a bunch of the lights. I am so relieved that I don't have to move a sim onto the lot. I know it's not that big of a deal, but I really just prefer to not have a sim on the lot while I'm building it. Especially because I don't do a ton of gameplay. I should do more. I don't. I don't actually do a ton of gameplay, so I don't like moving sims on my lots. I actually kind of like to keep them vacant if I can, just because I always end up bulldozing it anyway. And then you have to like make sure to add money to the family's account, and it's like a whole thing. Their needs go down while you're building. So it's just much easier for me to just build in actual build mode, and now I have no reason to ever need a sim on the lot, so I am really, really happy about that. Here is my misguided attempt to add as many windows to this house as possible. I know it isn't necessary, but I don't know, I just feel like a house needs so many windows. I guess it's just because I really love natural light. Like if the sun is out, the lights in my house are off, and I don't care how dark it gets in here. I just have this thing where I cannot turn on a light while the sun is out, or even if it's kind of cloudy. Like if there's any kind of natural light coming in, I like to capitalize on it. And I'm also just possibly living vicariously because I live in an apartment and it's very dark in here. I get like no natural light whatsoever. And so I guess I'm just trying to live out my dreams of having a house with lots of windows. But I do go through and delete basically all of these windows that you see on the back, and I think the sides. No, the window right above the little side porch there, that stays. I'm pretty sure, but the other windows, those do end up getting deleted because I think one of those I put a bathroom in there, and then the other side, I don't remember what happens. I guess we'll see. More about the actual build. I think I mentioned before that it was 3 or 4 bedrooms, depending on how you want to play. The look that I was kind of going for this house was an older house that was bought maybe by like a couple or even a single sim. I guess I don't usually see single sims in houses like this, but it totally could be. But it was like an older house bought by this couple, not like one of like the suburban development type houses, just something older. and they're renovating it, which is why I wanted to have like a very like crisp and clean, not like minimalist look, but just like a very like modern type of look. And I really love Dream Home Decorator because I feel like it achieves perfectly that look of like looking very clean, looking very modern, you know, like harder lines without being harsh or kind of it can, I think that modern homes can start to look a little bit sterile, especially in The Sims. But I think that it achieves like a modern coziness, which is exactly what I was going for. And thank goodness for this pack. This is another pack that like once I wasn't that looking forward to it, but once I actually got it in the game, I haven't done the gameplay yet, so I can't speak to whether or not that's any good. But once I actually got the pack in the game, the build buy, oh my gosh, the build buy was Dream Home Decorator. It's chef's kiss. This whole house is actually basically Dream Home Decorator. I'm going to try to do my next house in a different style so that I don't just end up using this pack to death. But this here with the refrigerator is one of my favorite things to do. Oh wait, I'm not doing it yet, but I'll do it in a second. Just deleting the wall behind the refrigerator, and then adding like cute little pictures or notes or something behind that. I did see that from another simmer. I don't remember who. I don't remember whose people I saw this in. I think it's a common thing though. I definitely didn't create it though, just to kind of, I don't want to take credit for someone else's work, but I definitely didn't create that myself. But I think it is like a really cute trick. I really love anything. I didn't want to overclutter this house because like I said, I did want it to have a, you know, cleaner look, but also, you know, like there's a kid's bedroom and there's like, in the living room, you'll see there's like a little cluttered desk for homework. So I did want it to feel like people live here. Like I said, I wanted it to feel modern, not sterile. And I really love the little baked goods on the counter. I think that those came with Good Get Together? No, Get to Work. Which one has the cafe? Whichever one has the cafe stuff, I think that's the pack that it came with. I can never remember. But no, I really like adding stuff like the little kids notes and the little cards on top of the refrigerator. Just these little touches that really make it feel, you know, like lived in and homey. What I really wanted, I actually had to do it. I had to try to figure it out, and I just cut the footage because it didn't work out. But what I really wanted was to find a way to put a bookshelf in the kitchen. It's a big kitchen, so I should have been able to work it out. But for whatever reason, I couldn't get it to work. But what I wanted to put a bookshelf in the kitchen with like a lot of cookbooks and, you know, some more like family pictures maybe, but it just didn't end up working out for this build. I have done that before though, and I know that one of the packs has a cabinet that actually looks like it comes with a bookshelf. There are a couple of books in there. By the way, I know that the footage is a little choppy. I'm very new to editing, so pardon me, but also, I had to cut out a lot of footage. I actually think I had 4 hours, and I cut it down to 24 minutes, 54 seconds, which is 4 hours is insane for a house this size. I don't know, and that is including the things that I did off camera, and I actually did quite a bit off camera. It was the floor plan mostly that I actually was recording, and it took me an embarrassingly long time to figure out the floor plan for this house, and it's completely my fault because I did what you should never do, and I did the landscaping outside first before I did the floor plan, and then I couldn't stand the idea of removing it, like removing the landscaping, because I really love the way that it came out, and actually this curved part of the living room that I'm having so much trouble with, I love the landscaping right there, and so I just couldn't take it out, so I decided to just work around it. But despite that, I actually really do like the way that this house turned out. The color scheme, especially for the living room, which is very like soft, like beige colors, but then those colors used on more modern pieces like the wingback chair, and I was hoping I would actually kind of stick with that navy console. That actually looked better because it matches the navy walls in the entryway. I might go back and change that. That fireplace doesn't stay there, but I was really torn about removing it. So if you like that fireplace, you are more than welcome to just kind of pop that back in, because I really like the fireplace, but I do end up putting a desk there. I have this new thing where whenever I build, I am putting, if it's a house with kids, I put like a common computer area in the build, so because I don't like the idea of kids just having like a computer in their bedroom. I don't think that that's something that they need to have. So I do end up just making this like a little study nook. I took the computer out, actually. There's a computer in the office, or you can just put a laptop back there. But I took it out and I just put in like some general like homework clutter, like some school books. I think I tossed in like a book bag or something. I really like that chore board, or a curvy board. I have a mod that makes it more functional, so I don't actually know how it functions without the mod. But this little, what I meant was this little easel with the expo marker. I think it came with University, but it just looks so cute. The way that I imagine it, it's like the family's, plan. You can like write down like the kids' soccer games or recitals, or like whether you're like working late or anything like that. It always you know what that reminds me of? It always reminds me of the calendar that they had in Modern Family. I don't know if anybody watches that, but they always had, right actually on top of their shared computer, the household shared computer, they had a little dry erase board that they were always writing the family schedule on, and I just thought that was adorable, so I've been putting it basically in every build. But I did kind of combine these couches to make it look like a sectional. I know that sectionals came with Dream Home Decorator, but I wanted these couches from the Paranormal Stuff Pack because this swatch was just so gorgeous. And I actually didn't use this couch for the longest time because I don't like the original swatch that it came with. I'm not huge on very like bright or vibrant colors. I like more like nude, neutral sort of colors. So I didn't even bother checking the other swatches. I just didn't use it. For this build, I was looking for a couch. Of course, I cut that out because it took a long time. But I ended up finding this like cream and beige color of this swatch, and I was like, oh my gosh, like this is so perfect. And so I did end up using that. And I do like that the entryway here is navy. I like the little like pop of color, and I feel like maybe that's something from the previous house that they decided to keep, instead of repainting it like the, sort of like cream colored or grayish walls from the rest of the house. The house that's right, the room that's right behind this door next to the stairwell here is actually, it was a guest room, so I furnished it all on camera. You might be able to see like a peek of it when I'm adjusting the rug in the living room here. I did do that on camera, but then I ended up turning it into an office instead, and I forgot to record it. And I was so disappointed with myself because I actually really liked the way that came out. So I was super bummed that I had forgotten to record it. I do have screenshots, so those will be at the end and you'll be able to see it, but I really like that office. One of my favorite offices. Nothing about it is particularly special. I just really liked it. So I'm sad that I forgot to. I was just adjusting the landscaping and I didn't want to record it. So I was like, oh, I'll just remember to hit record. And then I didn't. And I built for like over half an hour before I realized that I wasn't recording. Also, can we just say the lighting in this room? Chef's kiss. Like the way that it's hitting this bed is so gorgeous, and I'm actually disappointed that in a few minutes here I'm actually going to move this bedroom, because the bathroom, the ensuite for it, is really tiny, and this is supposed to be the parents' bedroom. If I didn't say that already, sorry. This room is for the parents or parent of the child that lives here, and the ensuite was really tiny. I feel like this room is I felt like the bathroom was really small for an adult, so I ended up swapping the kids' bedroom and the adult bedroom. The bedrooms were actually the same exact size, but the bathrooms were wildly different, so I ended up just moving it. But I'm actually kind of bummed because the lighting in here is so gorgeous. It looks so pretty with like the soft wood colors that I'm using actually for the modular dresser that I'm trying to create. This is my first time using Dream Home Decorator, so I'm not sure I completely nailed the modular design. Honestly, I kind of just wanted to use it, so I'm not even sure if it's like the best object for this room. I just really wanted to use it, and I felt like the white really complemented the colors. By the way, I changed the color of the doors. I thought the white doors looked better with the general theme or like vibe of the house than the dark wood doors did. Sorry, I just had to have a sip of tea. So I do end up moving it to the other side, because if you can kind of see here, the bathroom that's next to the kids' room, it's huge. So now the parents don't have an ensuite, but the kid does. I don't think it's that big of a deal though. Just another quirk of my floor planning, because I did not do, a stellar job floor planning this house. But yeah, I'm really excited to finally be finished editing this because I so want to play cottage living. Like, I just want to play it so badly. I've been thinking about it all day long. I thought this would my hubris was just like out of control because I thought that finishing building this and editing it and doing a voiceover and all of that would only take me like an hour and a half. No. Closer to 6, honestly. I'm sure there's a faster way to edit. Maybe if I were a better builder, I could edit it faster because there would be less to cut out. But because I just had to cut out so much footage, it actually took me like a really, really long time. By the way, I really love using the that little wall, that wood wall panel right there. I believe that's from Eco Lifestyle. Sorry, I believe that's from Eco Lifestyle, but I'm not. I feel like it is. Eco Lifestyle, Dream Home Decorator, and Tiny Living. I feel like that is the trifecta right there. Especially if you're doing like anything remotely, if you like, modern beds. I was saying beds because that child bed that came with Eagle Lifestyle is my favorite one. I keep saying lifestyle and living interchangeably. I do not know what that pack is called to this day. I have no idea. They used lifestyle and living so much, like both of them, and then also get to or get. So I'm always getting the pack names confused. It's almost like how I keep wanting to call cottage living country kitchen, even though I know that they're not the same thing. I keep wanting to call them the same thing. But that bed that came with Eco Lifestyle or Eco Living or whatever, so beautiful. I loved like the little quilt on top of it. Ignore the fact that in the nursery / bedroom, my bassinet looks weird. I had an override in my mods folder, and then I think the override has glitched or something because I could not for the life of me find the original crib. And so I did go back and fix it, but I didn't obviously record. I didn't re-record the entire building of the room, but it is fixed, like in the actual house. I did have to go back and adjust the living room again. Huge bummer because it took me so long to do it the first time, but I had to actually adjust the entire house. So that is what happened there. So we're pretty much actually done with the interior. It's crazy how fast it feels watching it back because I know that it took so long to both do and edit. So for it to just go by in the blink of an eye, it's crazy. But I actually like the interior. The color scheme is nice. I think the combination of Dream Home Decorator, Eco Lifestyle, and Tiny Living worked really well at giving it, like I said, that like cozy yet modern look. I would describe it as like excessively modern. I know that's just mid-century, all of it, but it is really nice to have it still. It still has a personality, which I think is something that can be hard to achieve in more minimalistic homes. I also don't feel like true minimalism really goes all that well with The Sims, like as a general rule, because I just don't think that it translates very well to this particular game. Although I have seen some people pull it off really, really well. I think it usually gets pulled off better if you're using like alpha CC. I'm not sure that Max's match really like translates well for minimalism, but I'm sure someone out there has done it beautifully. It's just not me. So for the backyard, I debated not giving it a pool because it feels weird to put a pool in every single house, and me personally, I never use them. I think my sons have used this pool like only when they get the little, oh, what is it called? When they get the little emote or whatever. This is just like proof that I never do gameplay. I can't even remember what it's called. But the feeling, the emotion, or whatever that they are overheating, then I'll usually be like, okay, go in the pool. But other than that, I almost never use it. Which is sad. I should use those more, but I do like putting them in my, if you're gonna have a suburban house, right, you have to have a pool. Although this is Brindleton Bay, I feel like they get so much weather that I'm not sure like having a pool is the best idea. You usually don't see pools in places that do get pretty diverse weather, but whatever, it's The Sims. Your Sims will go swimming probably in the winter and just be like, I'm cold, but they'll still, go into the freezing cold water. I think it would be fun if your Sims had to do like pool upkeep, and maybe if you had like a teenager, they would be in charge of like doing the pool upkeep as one of their chores. I think that would be something that would be really cute. Just to kind of give because I find teenagers incredibly boring. People like say that babies are boring. I don't know if it's just the way that I play, but I find teenagers to be even more boring. like they just kind of go to school and that's it. There's not really, I would like it. I know Parenthood introduced more things for them, but I would like it if they had more chores or something like that to do. But we are actually almost at the end of this build. I'm just adding some finishing touches. So thanks so much for watching, and here are the screenshots.